Good.
All righty. I'm excited, Hannah.
I'm too.
Live streaming. Meeting is streaming live on YouTube right now. So now YouTubers, we are live. All right. Well, and today, okay, so there's always what happens is that's the double sound. Sorry, folks, double sound while live streaming. We're doing Zoom. All righty. Well, in this video, we're going to discuss how building your banking system is like starting a business from scratch. So if you're looking to start a business from scratch, this is what this is about. Stay tuned. Now, stay to the end because Hannah and I have a free gift for you. And it's a PDF. And it's actually co-authored by her father and Chris Nagel, Brent Kessler, Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery, A Step into the Secrets of the Wealthy. It's a PDF book. It is worth reading. It coincides with a video we're going to talk about. So stay to the end, and then we can tell you how to get it, okay? It's awesome. Today's key takeaways. 1, how do you create a side hustle business to build more wealth? And we're going to elaborate on that. 2, starting a business from scratch with guaranteed profits or guaranteed bottom line. 3, how to recycle, recapture, and keep control of those hard-earned dollars that you try to generate through your business. Now, we'll have another section on personal, but through your business. Those are the 3 key takeaways. All righty. Well, welcome to the Victor V podcast. I got my notes over here, so I apologize. Victor V Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Arocho. I'm a privatized banking specialist. My co-host today is Hannah Kessler. Hannah is a second-generation infinite banking concept practitioner. This is a method that Hannah and her father travel all over the country on how to and teaching people how to recycle, recapture, keep total control of your hard-earned dollars. The Money Multiplier, which is a method they've created, the Money Multiplier teaches the importance of privatized banking, keeping money in the family, which we know we want to keep the money in the family. I'm from Jersey, keep it in the family, and how to break the bonds of financial slavery. You don't even realize you're in right now. In debt, you are a slave to the lender. Her dreams, which is awesome. All right, her dreams is to build a real estate empire and become a fashion designer to start her own clothing line with this wealth through privatized banking. Welcome, Hannah Kessler. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good, Victor. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, no, I just love going around and traveling and just teaching to y'all. That's what gives me the energy in life every single day to get up in the morning. So, we're talking here on this Friday morning. It's sunny and shiny where I'm at. What about you?
Oh, it's sunny and shiny, and where I'm at, actually, I'm a Jersey boy living in Florida, but I'm happy to be in the Dallas area today, and it's gonna be like 100 degrees here. Where are you at? Where are you located at?
I'm in Florida, right? So Daytona Beach.
Oh, you're in Florida too. That's right.
Just yesterday it was 96.
Yeah. But when they said 100, I was like, man, I don't care whether it's dry heat or not heat. It's still 100 degrees.
That's it.
Right. So excellent. So now we're going to talk a little bit. We're with questions. Both of us are going to collaborate and try to help our listeners and people watching. So how to create an easy side hustle business to build more wealth. Now, I'm using the term side hustle, and you and I had a pre-discussion about that. It's kind of like, I hate that word side hustle. I hate to say hustler and all those things, but everyone's always looking now, especially today, to make more extra money, do other things, build other business. You get a YouTube ad every 2 minutes on how to be rich and all that. This ain't what this is about, but this is ability to help you generate that. So like some examples of side hustles of building wealth, would you agree is like real estate, creating some type of a business, an online drop shipping, but give me your thoughts. You had some comments about that. You wanted to be very clear about, we're not about this side hustle and privatized banking and then how to start your business. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So really, I mean, so what we're out there doing, right? I mean, let's talk about the purpose of money right now. The purpose of money is that we all want to use this tool and this resource to buy the things that we want in life, right? Go buy the new car, go buy the house, go on that vacation, go fund for Susie's piano lessons, right? So all we're out here doing is just creating and building more wealth for us and our family so we can go out and live that prosperous life that we've always imagined for ourselves, right? So anyway, so what we're talking about is yeah, so I do a lot of I'm very active in the real estate world. And I'm actually just starting to get into another little side business of Turo, renting out my car because I'm right here in Daytona Beach. I got the Daytona Beach airport. Some folks might want to come and rent the car while they fly into town that day. So, but anyway, so what we're talking about over here. So this is a concept. It's a process, right? It's not a product. What we're talking about is the process of how to keep, create, and build more of that wealth. Keep the money in the family, just like how you said, Victor, in the forefront. So what we're doing is we're using a banking system, and I use my banking system to go out and fund the different businesses that I have or my real estate transactions. And so the banking business, this is not just the ordinary bank, hey, I'm using Wells Fargo, or like I own Wells Fargo, or I own Bank of America. No. I'm creating these privatized banking systems where now I'm able to keep total control of that money. So some people, they could look at it as like a side hustle. I know we're going to get into that too, Victor, and I'll kind of explain why. But I want folks, I guess, before we get deeper into this, just to know where this information is coming from. And so another resource to your listeners as well. Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. Becoming Your Own Banker. This is where this information comes from. So I highly recommend you add this book to your wealth building library.
Oh, excellent. Look, one thing I want to say, and we could agree to disagree, but I think we're agree a lot. But it's also good to have, debate, right? So I look at this as the reason why, what is the purpose of a side hustle, right? A purpose of the side hustle is one, either to generate additional income, right? You're trying to either get out of debt or you're generating additional income, right? To do something else, to buy something. Mm-hmm. Two, you're doing a side hustle to begin because you're working a 9 to 5 and you're doing a side hustle to hopefully that could turn into your full-time business, right? So those are all side hustles, right? Or what's called side hustles today, right? Everybody has that term is like now forever, right? But all of that takes some type of money. Everyone could say that no money down and all that. It takes money. So you're either earning money from your job or you're earning money from your side hustle. Well, that money, where's that money going? Right? It's going into the Wells Fargo, the Bank of Americas, and so forth, right? So I think we're trying to educate, and this is all about financial education, right? And listen, I wish, you're nice and young, so God bless you. I'm telling you, I've made a lot of money in my lifetime, right? And I've lost a lot of money in my lifetime. And I wish I would have known this 30 years ago. Because when I bought my first policy, when I had my kids and I got married, I listened to the Susie Ormans of the world of, invest in term, buy term and invest the difference. I would have rather done it this way because they didn't know how to do infinite banking. So I was only getting the whole policy, whole life policy only, and it wasn't enough. And I just was crazy. So where I'm coming from is that the reason why I'm attached a little bit of side hustle, because it's an ability for you to be able to utilize money that you already have and generate a return on your investment, a return and an interest anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6% right off the bat, right? So isn't that making money? Every business's goal is supposedly to make net 10%, right? So we're just starting to say, hey, here's an ability to make money, but then use that money to create more wealth. This is not a financial game plan. It's money to create more wealth. That's the only reason I'm attaching it. So if you want to start a business, start your own banking business first, then take that banking business and start another business.
Bingo.
We good with that?
Bingo.
Right. right? So, and then, so that's number one. So how is it so you're able to create your own banking system, right? So how is building a banking system in your mind similar to starting a business, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I actually, I picked this up from going to all of the conferences revolved around the infinite banking concept, going out there and going to those think tanks. And there was a gentleman who stood up there and he gave this example. And I never forgot this. This really, really resonated with me. And kind of just like the average Joes of the world, right? Because I'm just the average Joe out here just trying to make a living, trying to live my life. So what we got to first understand, right? So how is building a banking system similar to starting a business? First, we got to understand what is our banking system, right? What are we doing over here? So what the banking system is that we're using a specifically engineered whole life policy with a mutual company that pays dividends. And I know most of y'all sitting here on the call, you're about to go vomit and shut off your computers and just totally run out of the room because, right, you're thinking to yourselves, I know everything that there is to know about whole life in the world. Just like how you said, Victor, Susie and Dave Ramsey, they told me, no, I should not do that, right? But you probably don't know everything, because if you really understood who was also using these banking systems, you would think twice about it. Right. So I'll kind of get into it. So what I'm doing is that I'm using my whole life policy, and I don't even call it my policy. I call this the privatized bank of Hannah Kessler. And so what I do is when I get dollars in from active income, passive income, whatever it is, that wealth and that money has to have a home, right? Because all money has to flow through somebody's bank. And I want it to be my bank where I'm making all of the profits and the dividends on myself instead of the Bank of America's, Wells Fargo's making it on me. So how it's similar to starting a business from scratch is that the cool thing inside of these policies is just kind of like how you said at the beginning, Victor, they have a guaranteed growth within inside of them. They have a guaranteed growth, and it doesn't matter what the markets are doing, who the president is and who's pissing off who in the world, right? I get my guaranteed growth within inside of my contract because that's what the insurance company is promising to me. Here's kind of how it's like similar to starting a business from scratch. Because like I said, it's a specifically engineered. This policy is specifically designed for high cash value banking. So what I mean by that is that when I put $1 into my policy that first year, so when I put $1 into that policy that first year, immediately, and my definition of immediately is within 30 days, immediately I can go in there, take out dollars, leverage it to go back out, go put it towards my business or go buy the cars I'm buying, whatever I'm doing at the time. But anyways, what I'm talking about is that each and every year inside of my contract, I get a higher and higher borrowing power, and my growth inside of the policy is based on uninterrupted compounding interest. That's very powerful, right? Albert Einstein, right? He says compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it. Because what are we doing right now? We're paying all the banks all that compound interest, right? So now that I understand it, I'm just going to mimic and imitate that game right along there with them. So now to kind of go back, right? My banking system, when I put $1 into that policy the first year, I have access to 60% of that $1. So 60 cents. So let's think about it. If I start a business, do I think that I am going to profit within that first year? No, right? Most businesses don't, right? You got overhead expenses, you got the equipment, whatever you're doing, right? You profited 60 cents in that year for every dollar you put in the business. All right, we did okay, right? Next year rolls around. Next year, I put $1 into my business. Now my business profited 80 cents. Okay, we're going up. that third year, when I put $1 into my business, this is my year that I'm able to break even. All right, I'm breaking even now. And then if I know in that fourth year, when I put $1 into the policy into the business, and I'm able to take out more than that $1 and I'm profiting now inside of my business. And if I know this from the forefront, hey, Hannah, every single year after that given year of when you break even, your business is going to keep profiting and profiting more than the prior year. I mean, how many of these businesses do you want in life? And on top of that, well, let's take it a step further. I have no employees, right? I got no belly aching or griping that they're sick. They can't come in that day and come help me out at work. I don't have any office buildings, right? I don't got to go pay for the rent of the office or the plumbing or the electric, et cetera. I have this business that's going to be guaranteed growth each and every time once I start it from that first year. That's how many businesses I'm trying to start in my lifetime.
So let me give you a little bit of my take now.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of energy between us. This is pretty good. So here's my take on how it's starting a business. That was a great explanation, and that's a awesome version. Here's how I look at it now. Obviously, I was nice and young like yourself. So I've had several businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had several businesses. I've worked in the corporate world and so forth. So how I related to creating your own business is what, right? You start a business, you either raise money or you have money, right? So I take that money, and where's that money? And money I come out of Wells Fargo, Bank of America, where it is. We're promoting these guys, but whatever bank is, and I put that money into my business, right? And when I put my money into that business, now I have to generate, revenue. I have to get, like you said, either employees or hey, what about people that do it online? Maybe they don't have employees. People are doing drop shipping. People are buying product and selling product. There's many different ways to be a business, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're starting a business, and at the end of the year, you're hoping that you have a profit, right? You have revenue coming in, you have a profit, right? Depends if you're going full tilt in, how much money you put invest. You can make some money, you can make a profit, but most small businesses fail within the first 5 to 7 years. I mean, statistically, I don't even know if it's even worse now, right? During the COVID and so forth. So how I see, privatized banking as purely a business is I am taking money, right? And I am building a banking system via, our custom design, high dividend paying insurance policy. And that's custom design. So this is not your regular mom and pop old school whole life policies. None of this stuff that these other gurus say. This is a custom design to generate cash. So here I am, a business guy. Average, the ultimate goal, if you read quite a few books, there's a great book by Greg Crabtree. He's a friend of mine, CPA. You're trying to shoot for a 10% net profit. So after expenses, after everything, you would like to get 10% net profit. But in the beginning, it's hard. You want to grow that up to 15, then use it. But in building your own banking system, within the first month that I start my banking policy, for every dollar that I put into my banking policy, which I would call them deposits, right? Because now it's my bank. The heck with that, it's a bank. I put in a deposit. The second I start depositing money, it's guaranteed, depending on the companies we put out, anywhere from 3 to 6% interest, right? So right off the bat, whatever money I put in, I'm already at 3 to 6% profit. Is that a fair statement? Right? Yes. Now, that doesn't count. Obviously, there's a cost of insurance. There's other pieces that we would explain a little later. But at the end of the day, I started a business, put in the money, and I'm already guaranteed that I'm getting an interest returning on my money anywhere from 3 to 6 or more percent on that money. That's how I'm starting a business, right? So I'm getting that 3%, putting that dollar in there, and I'm utilizing that dollar. Now it's a business, number one. Number two, you made a good point. Well, hey, here's ability to start your own banking system without employees. Well, I can't. I know that's a great point, but I want to counter that a little bit as well. That's not really true. I have employees. The benefit is I don't have to pay for them. I don't have to do anything. Who are the employees? The employees or the employees of the insurance company?
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the employees insurance, I don't need a building. Well, that's not really true. The insurance companies have big buildings. Look, beautiful, large. They're not mine. I don't have to pay for them. So I have all the benefits of outsourcing, technically, employees, outsourcing real estate, and getting me a guarantee, right? A return on me of interest on every dollar that I deposit. I get, it's not guaranteed, but I get a dividend every year, and they've been paying dividends for over 100 years. So not only am I getting interest, I'm getting a dividend. So if I only just did that, which is not the ultimate concept that we want to teach, but if I ultimately just built a policy, custom design, put my deposits in, I'm going to get a return. I'm going to get at least 3 to 6% return on my money, which you cannot get anywhere now, right? Especially with inflation and everything. Number one, and number two is the likelihood over 100 years of getting dividends. I'm going to continue getting dividends. Is that a fair statement? If I just stop there, now I got a business and I got it there. That doesn't even count the benefit of legacy money. Go ahead.
Bingo. I'm very glad that you brought up the word inflation. Okay. Because what's cool too about my banking systems is that this thing is always going to go up no matter what the markets are doing, those external factors. I know exactly how this thing's going to perform based on when I see it and I receive that policy contract right in front of my eyes, so that's what I think is the coolest thing about it is that I want to keep my nest egg and store my nest egg of wealth in an environment that, number one, I'm in control. Number two, there's guarantees within it. And then number three, we don't talk about this a lot, right? Because we're over here talking about the banking system. But at the end of the day, I still have that death benefit. And now I'm able to leave that legacy to my family and to my heirs. I don't have children, but I do have a kitty cat, and I would like her to be well taken care of when I'm not here anymore.
or to a nonprofit or to whatever under your name or not under your name for scholarships. But now let's go back to how to create an easy side hustle business, build more wealth. Well, one, I just explained to you, if I purely only did privatized banking, right, I'm going to make my money on my money. Yep. Okay, that's it. The challenge is that's not the challenge, but that is not the ultimate purpose to being what, like, I love the method, the money multiplier. We want to multiply. You hear this all the time. You're growing up. Don't work for money, have money work for you. Don't work for money, have money work for you. Well, we get sidetracked in the life with all these gurus feeding us way more information than we need to. And I'm telling you, I'm old school, so I didn't have all of this, right? When I was growing up, and thank God, when I was dating, there was no social media, right? Yep. And better for me, right? But yeah, I'm married, to be 25 years, but I'm just saying, pre-marriage, thank God there was no social media, right? But my point being is, now we just said, okay, how to create an easy side hustle business. We just explained. Technically side hustle, no, you're building your banking system where you're making money, which is what we defined the side hustle was, to be able to make some money. Now, right, starting a business with from scratch, guaranteeing profits, goes back to the dividends and the interest. But now you take that money, right, and now it's your own business. That's how do the wealthy get wealthier? They have a business that becomes profitable, and they start generating the profits out of that. And then what do? They go and start buying real estate. I know guys that own insurance agencies, insurance companies, they own other dealerships. They go and buy buildings. They go and buy where are they buying it from? They're buying it from the money they've generated from their own business. So we started the business of privatized banking. And the beauty with privatized banking is we can create 15 of them. Mm-hmm. Right? We could create a multiple. You could create a privatized banking on your kids, on someone, a key person inside of your company. So now let's get into, okay, so now we showed you how to create it from scratch. That's one side hustle. Two, the ultimate of money multiplying is being able to utilize that money and just recycle that money for everything that you do. Right. And as you're putting that money in, they give you your money within 3 days, ACH. So it's not a problem. The difference is, if you let's start with the example we always use. You put $10,000 into a policy. If you take out 6,000, right? To do something else, to invest it, to figure out that you found something good, whether or to pay off debt, to be able to get. I'll give you an example for me on paying off debt, right? The beauty is that you're borrowing from the insurance company's reserves, not from your own business's reserves.
Bingo.
So you're getting your interest, right, on your 10,000, regardless if you took $5,000, $6,000 out.
Mm-hmm.
Right under your banking, if you put in 10,000 and you go, let's say I'm gonna take 6,000 because I want to do this investment, right? You're now going to get barely any percent on the remaining 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
And in privatized banking, you want your side hustle crypto, all the new stuff, the NFTs, everything that everyone's on. No problem. Do what you want. Put your money in your own bank. So that way, that's going to always grow. You're not going to lose there. You're able to now create your drop shipping business, buy NFTs, do crypto. Those are your choices. Hey, I'm not advocating them. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying to you, that's where you're now multiplying one business. You can transfer that into multiple businesses. Would that be a fair statement? Because I want to stay with making sure they get the action items on. How to create it is one, talking with us, creating a customized, high dividend paying, privatized banking policy. Two, taking that money and utilizing that for other businesses, right? Okay. And then I'll give you the example in debt. I had some racked up some debt, was doing really well. Things have changed and you start living the same. Listen, when I paid this off, do you understand? I was paying $8,000 a year in interest only.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And did I just not recapture $8,000 I ain't gonna pay this year? Right? That money now it could be put to use in a totally different manner.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the beauty about it. And my money's still earning interest. So I wanted to stick to boom, easy. Second part, starting a business with guaranteed results. We get guaranteed results. They guarantee it into your contract. What are your thoughts on that?
I have, when we come back here, because I know, Victor, you and I are going to be collaborating more and more. So I got some more thoughts that we can really expand.
That's right. So we can keep going for topics. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But that's exactly it. Right. So it's what I call my privatized banks as well. It's my and asset. I use that word a lot because it's not, hey, I'm going to store my wealth inside of my privatized banks or go out and start my business. No. This is the process that I'm going to go start those additional businesses with. This is where the financing is coming from, and it's coming from my privatized bank. And you hit the nail right on the head, because I'll just reiterate it just one more time, why I like to use that instead of just going down to the conventional bank, either taking a loan or withdrawing that money from my checking account. When I put that money inside of my banking system, it's forever earning and growing for me, compound growth. And what I'm doing is I'm putting that policy up for collateral, and I'm taking a loan from the general funds of the insurance company. So what it's basically going on is that all of my dollars in the policy still start to grow, keep continuing to grow and compound. At the same time, I'm able to leverage it to go do that next business venture with it. So awesome. That's why I call it the and asset, because, or I guess here, let me give you my last thought on it, because, hey, now I'm making money in my policy. Now I'm making money out here in my business venture. And now I'm just double dipping on my dollar. That's how I sum it up.
Exactly. Well, you said a couple key pieces. One key piece is leverage, right? Leverage is the ultimate word on being able to make things move. Right? Constant motion. Think about it. Back in the cave days, they figured out how to leverage to be able to move a rock. Yeah. Right? It's like a seesaw. You put the rock underneath, you put the board on top of it or a tree sting, and you can lift it. How? By leverage, right? You couldn't just pick it up. You weren't that strong. Okay. That's number one. Number two, we're leveraging our dollar twice. Right? We're able to keep it somewhere where it's continually to earn compounded interest. And then we're utilizing that money to do the things we want, whether that's paying off your debt, whether that is, paying off cars, paying off so forth. Depends on whatever you want to do. The other thing you mentioned, and asset. There's also a great book out there called, I think about Caleb something, right? Called And Asset. I've read them all, right? I mean, I could go book after book after book, right? and asset. So let me tell you something real quick about that. Now, folks, I want you to understand something. This is a lot, and we cannot teach you the hours and hours that we've already done in a 40-minute, 30, 45 minutes slot. You could schedule something with us. We're going to tell you how to reach us, but we're going to continue listening. I would educate yourself, because 95% of the country do not understand this. And I think I'm a really smart guy. Okay. Just pat myself on the back on that one. And I didn't know about this until about maybe 2-3 years ago. Okay. And if I want to learn this 30 years ago, forget about it. Right. So, and asset. So do you understand, when we put our money into a bank, any commercial bank out there, right, as soon as we put our money back in, if I put in $10,000 in the bank and I go in the next day and I want my money back, that bank has to give me my money. Right? I'm going to close out of my account, right? The government's watching them. They got to cover my account. But if I put $10,000 into the bank and I just did it in dollar bills, right? Or $100 bills, and I scraped them all purple, when I get my $10,000 back, they ain't going to give it to me in the same dollars I spent purple. Yep. It's a different set of money. So they're just returning that money. That's number one. Number two, when we put money in our bank, to the bank, immediately it's a liability. Why is it a liability? Because they got to pay us back. If I want my money, I want my money, right? Okay, if you ever see one of my favorite shows, A Wonderful Life, great movie, and it talks about whole life policies at the end. You can use that to borrow, okay? But then the bank is smart. They flip it to what you said, into an asset. How? If I show you all the papers that I have around me, okay, the bank takes the money that's deposited in their account, and it's now a liability. It goes into their balance sheet as an asset when they start lending it for mortgages, when they start lending it for credit cards, when they start lending it out. Now it's an asset. So it's, in fact, it's got its own name right now, bank-owned life insurance. So you can go to Yahoo Finance right now, Yahoo Finance, look up Wells Fargo. There's a tab there that says balance sheet. You click on balance sheet. Then there's a tab that says assets. You click on assets. When you drop down assets, it's going to give you buildings, assets, money. It's going to say bank-owned life insurance. You're going to see 15 to 18% of their money in the billions is put into bank-owned life insurance. So that's how they take it and they bring it into an asset, because they're allowing that money to do something else than just purely a liability of it.
Yes.
Right? I just wanted to be able to explain to some of the people about how they're doing it. All we're saying to you is that we want you to do the same. Your money's going to come into your bank originally. We're just saying then redirect it into your own banking system. And then from there, handle your expenses and then handle your investments.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
BOLI, bank-owned life insurance, BOLI.
And then there's COLI. We could talk about that. How to recycle, recapture, and keep control of your hard-earned dollars. You want to talk a little bit about that so we went, let's summarize real quick. One, we started that if you wanted to only a side hustle, building your own banking policy right there is a side hustle. But that's not the best leverage of your money, because you can make more than 3 to 4 to 5% on other things that you can do, right? But it's a great way to start, right? And I was listening to a good Joe Rogan episode, and he's like, you want to start something, start putting enough money away, have that security money of 3 to 4 to 5 months. This is a good place to be able to have that money, be able to access it, right? So now you can start it. We also talked about then you have that money available to be able to start another business, whatever side hustle or whatever you want to call it, or build your own business. We're not even getting into businesses that already got revenue, that they should be putting these into the policies, right? Okay. I'll say now we've built up a policy, where you've got the first year we got with 10,000. You could do 10,000. You could do 6,000. You could do 50,000, 100,000. It really depends on where you're at, right? You just got to determine it. So now how we're going to recycle that money, and we're going to recapture everything that we would be paying, like cars and so forth. And we want to control that revenue that we create in our businesses or in our 9 to 5s or whatever you have. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to you about like just my own personal life, So when I first started getting into this, I was 18 at the time. And because you got to be 18 in order to own one of these policies, right? So I was 18 at the time, and Dad says, hey, you should go and liquidate your savings account and go put all that money inside of your whole life policy. And I said, well, Dad, I got about $5,000 in that savings account, and that was money that was just coming to me, birthday money, Christmas money, as I was growing up through school. And at that time when Dad told me that, I was 18 years old. I was living in the city in Kansas City, and I was a waitress at Cracker Barrel. And I was like, Dad, there's no way in heck that I can keep making 5,000 a year into this stupid whole life policy, right? And however, though, what really changed for me is that I was able to see and start that mindset shift that all wealth, like I kind of said earlier, all wealth has to reside and flow through somebody's bank. So, hey, I was just looking at this when I first started off. I was looking at it more as a forced savings account. I was forcing myself to save inside of this vehicle. And so 18 at the time, I was forcing myself to save inside of this vehicle. About 6 months later, I had to go buy a new computer, the same computer I'm talking to you on. And, it's a MacBook. These suckers are like $2,500, So what I did is I borrowed from my banking system. That was the first thing I ever did with my bank, with my privatized banks. And so I borrowed from my banking system, went down to the Apple store. I gave them the money. They handed me the computer and we all walked away. But now, because I self-finance this, I am that banker in my life. If I wanted to, I don't have to pay myself back for that computer I just bought. We hear that all day long, pay yourself back with interest. None of us really to this day pay ourselves back, let alone with interest. Right. So it is that mindset change that I want to be disciplined and I do want to play that honest banker, treat my money just how I treat the conventional bank's money. Because if I go take a loan for $2,500 to go buy that MacBook, you bet your butt they're going to come and make sure that I'm paying for that computer that I borrowed. Right. Because if I'm not, they're going to come and take that computer and seize that collateral. So it is really me now playing that honest banker. So now what I'm doing is that instead of losing interest, if I just were to go pay cash for this computer, I would have physically withdrawn it from my checking account. And I didn't want to do that because now if I withdraw that money, I'm losing out on the opportunity cost of that dollar. Right? Because in order to get that money back inside my pocket, earning the interest again, I have to go work for it. I have to go earn it somehow, get it back inside of that checking account. Or if I go take a loan to go finance the computer, well, now I'm paying interest to the bank. So with me funneling the money through my banking system first, I am recycling and recapturing that money because now all of the profits and the interest come back to me. Because remember, when I went and took out that $2,500 loan to give it to the Apple people, $2,500 never lost any interest. It was still growing and compounding inside of my banking system forever and earning me that guaranteed interest.
So what you did was then just started saying, okay, let's say it's $2,500. I'm going to pay myself, let's say it's $2,400, make it easy, right? Okay. $2,400. Okay. I'm going to pay myself back. You could add more into it, but just make it easy for our listeners and for people watching, $200 a month. Mm-hmm. Right. And the beauty, it's not structured. If you can't make that $200, you didn't have to make it. You could catch it back up. But let's say you were disciplined, you did $200 a month, right? At the end of the year, boom, you got your $2,400 back, right? You're adding your $2,400. Now you're whole at the $5,000 all over again. Plus you still have the asset of the computer. So you have the asset of the computer. You didn't pay any interest. That's how you're recycling the money. There's no different from when I paid off and I don't owe $8,000 anymore. Now I'm building it up. So whenever I buy my cars and so forth, I negotiate the car, this and that. How much is it? Great. Boom. I'm going to pay you cash. Okay. And then how much were the payments on that? Okay, great. Then I just pay myself back. What happens is now I have all my money for the car back, plus I have the car. So let's say you have a $20,000 car, right? You go and buy a $20,000 car, right? You finance it for whatever, 2-3%. I don't care what you think it is. $20,000 is going to turn into 24, 25, 26, $27,000. And you have to pay it every month. And then they're going to come repo your car, right? Yeah. When you finish up paying for your car, yay, I got no car payment. It's awesome. Now you got a car. Today's a little bit different because used cars are worth more, but just in normal practices, your car's worth maybe 10 grand. So all you got is a $10,000 car, of which you paid $24,000. You lost $14,000.
Yeah.
Right. In your own banking system, you get all your money back, plus you have it. So that's what we're talking about, recycling. We could teach you a little bit more about that. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit more. You could utilize it. Let's get out of debt real fast. So you stop paying to other people and pay to yourself. So there's many different ways. Okay. So now we're about to be wrapping this up, right? So real quick, and at the bottom of the link, we have some free gifts for you. We have Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. It's a PDF, Steps into the Secrets of the Wealthy, right? There's a link to there. It will be in this section. It is authored by Brent Kessler, familiar name. And is Hannah's father, and Chris Nagel. Chris Nagel's got an excellent podcast that I listen to. That's how I really met Hannah. And then we decided, hey, let's join forces. And you could tell we got a lot of fired up coffee inside of us. Okay. So that's free for you. Just look at it, read it, decide if it's for you. Look, we can't sell you anything. We're just going to give you education and so forth. It's got to be up to you. And then we can help you. Right. That's number one. Number two, if you want to schedule a call with, there's a link there to schedule a free strategy call. It's for free. You know, for those who seriously want to understand this interest and making sure that what I can do, what the wealthy doing, the Rockefellers, Disney, the lady who started Pampered Chef, Biden. I'm not trying to get into politics, but there's a lot of people that have it. Wells Fargo, there's billions of dollars. If you're really seriously interested, there's a link down in below that you can put a schedule. Hannah and I and myself or one of our associates to get on and really go through the nitty gritty and help you. We're here to help. That's the bottom line. We only want to help those who want to be helped, right? I can't help you if you don't want to be helped. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now we work with serious people who desire to either one, create wealth. And I know everybody says that. Two, create more wealth. You got money. Let's do more with it, right? I mean, isn't that what you're trying to do with other businesses and other things? Or three, and there's more, want to get debt free and want to leave a legacy to their family. So why not enjoy your money while you're living, right? And then leave something to whoever you want to leave that legacy to, right? Now, prior to our free strategy, we strongly encourage, and we will want to meet with you, but there's a link to a 90-minute money multiplier method down below. We need you to listen to that, right? Make sure you understand that. Make sure this is something that, hey, I want to get a little bit further, and we need to feel comfortable that you went through that, because then you have a good idea and it'll make more sense. Now, you know, it's a 90-minute video with the co-author, Brent Kessler, of Mapping Out the Money, the Millionaire Mystery, which is what you have the PDF for. So you can read it however you want to do it. Okay. Now, the question I have for you, and you know, Hannah, you tell me what you think about this. Is 90-minute investment, right? When you started at 18, I know it's hard as a father telling a daughter, you know, and this and that, 18, y'all kids know I got a daughter and y'all know everything, right? 18 years old. Okay. Is 90-minute investment of your time watching how to do what the wealthy, what all your banks where you store your money with today do, and what major corporations do to build wealth and or live a debt-free life worth it to you? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is it worth it? Is 90-minute investment worth it to you for that? And you're watching it. And you can listen to it. You can watch it. However you want to do it, that's super important. I guarantee you, all right, I guarantee you watch more than 90 minutes on Netflix or your DVR or so forth. So you just get everything in life determines it is about change. All right. Yeah. Change is stop doing something and start doing something. That's what change is. So you either got to stop doing what you're doing and start doing something else if that's what you want to do. Okay. If
you want to be prosperous, if you want to keep growing, because in my personal,
you want your life changed.
Yeah. My personal opinion, you got to make those lifestyle changes. And we're always changing too. I'm learning that more and more as
There's
I
no
go
doubt.
through life.
There's no doubt. Now, look, I have more videos also on banking on you via my channel down below as well. We'll add in new videos each week. Don't forget next week on Tuesday at 8 a.m., nice and early in the morning. But this will we keep going. We'll have another segment. Now, look, we're not attorneys. We're not accountants. We're not financial advisors. You'd have to seek your own advice. I always have that disclosure so you understand that. But we are licensed professionals. We're licensed agents. We are licensed life and health agents. So, we got to go through our credits. We had to get a license. We had to study. We have to understand how to do this. And the average life insurance agent doesn't understand that. That's a totally different story. Okay. Our next podcast again is Tuesday, June 21st at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Future topics we'll be talking about on our next episodes is how do banks work? Talk about being the banker in your own life, or identifying your why. Right. So we got a lot of different topics. We're going to change it up. We're very excited to continue this education for our listeners out there. And I want to make a difference. I truly believe here I'm making a difference. And this is what I do. I have lots of customers. I'm growing more customers. Hannah's got lots of customers. God bless her. She's starting at 18. My son has a policy. My daughter's having a policy. They're 24. They're 21. I'm teaching them the same method, right? And what to be able to do. And then Hannah, outside of this, how can our listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, no, so absolutely. I'm, so I'm down here in the Daytona Beach area. So y'all, if you ever want to get a coffee or talk about this stuff, I'm
Well,
here.
I mean, like you got a Twitter handle? You got anything?
No. No, absolutely. I'm going to get into that. So actually,
you're too pretty. I don't want a bunch of people running down the Daytona.
No. So
your dad'll have a problem with me.
Yeah. No. So anyways, so my email, it's hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. Hannah, HANNAH. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, The Money Multiplier. My name, Hannah Kessler, Kesler.
And I'll put it in the link as well.
Good. And our website, right? So Victor, you got that? www.themoneymultiplier.com. And we'll be here.
Mention the Victor V show. Don't forget to mention Victor V. There's some meaning behind it. I'll have to tell you later because everyone's wondering. My name is Victor Arocho. So where's Victor V come from? It's a funny story. So we'll tell you that later. Hannah, this has been I really appreciate you coming on and us starting this journey together. I think we got a lot of fire between us. And the beauty is we're like, I always say we're like salt and pepper, right? You're the young one, I'm the older one. And so, our crowd should be able to see that if two people generations apart are in the same process and in the same systems to make a difference in the world, because, this benefits, stay tuned for next week. But I want you guys to know is that we surrender, if you were to do something, we surrender a lot of money to be able to help people start their business. Way more than people expect. And we can get into that at another time. So thank you. This is the Victor V podcast signing out. Hannah, it was a pleasure. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. This is fun. Let's keep doing it.
Let's get it on now. We'll keep taking notes because we can talk forever between you and me. I appreciate it. And don't forget to get your link down below. This is live. It'll be replaying again. And we'll talk soon. Everybody have a great, blessed day. And hey, let's start changing our lives and leaving a legacy. Proverbs 13:33. Leave a great person leaves a legacy to his children's children. So let's get it on. Okay. Let me get here.